Good. All right, we'll call the Brushy Creek Regional Utility Authority Board of Directors meeting for Wednesday, March 24th. Welcome, everybody. Monique, I think you have the roll call already, so we'll move on from roll call. Item 3, citizen communication. I don't know if we have anybody wanting or on the line to speak to the board. We'll do a quick check. And seeing none, anybody wanting to speak to the board? Seeing none, we'll move on. Item 4, approval of the minutes. Consider approval of the BCRUA meeting minutes for January 27th, 2021. You should have a copy in your packet. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jason, second by Director Duffy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're good. Item number 5, staff reports. Consider an update from the general manager regarding the repair of BCRUA 36-inch underwater pipeline, phase 1C and phase 2 projects. Ms. Pondy.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, board members, for assembling for tonight's board meeting. I have recently received the repair costs to the water treatment plant damage from Storm Uri, and wanted to get those repairs completed as soon as possible. So that is the only action item on this agenda. But while I have you assembled, I wanted to take the opportunity to provide a brief update on some key activities. And first, I'm pleased to announce that the break in our 36-inch underwater pipeline has been repaired, and tomorrow we are beginning to fill the pipeline. By the end of next week, we will begin to fill the water treatment plant basins and expect to deliver the treated water to our customer cities by April 9th. The next step then is to inspect the full length of the pipeline. We have identified an inspection team to do the work, which we expect to take about 3 weeks, beginning in mid-April. And then with the information we gain from the inspection, the costs that we'll get from this inspection company that we're using, we'll be able to determine the final cost of the repair. Currently, it's estimated at about 1.4 million. I think we'll be pretty close on that. And the pipe break is not covered by insurance, but the Texas Water Development Board has approved, and we are using excess 2017 SWIFT funds for the repair. The pipe manufacturer is conducting a forensics investigation and have taken the pipe to their factory, and they are scheduled to brief our staff on their findings in a couple of weeks. And once we receive that information, we'll consult with our attorneys on any further action. And then on top of this, BCRUA's water treatment plant sustained damage during the recent severe cold snap. Our operators have already repaired the damage to phase 1A of the water treatment plant and part of the damage to the recently completed phase 1C expansion. There were some things that they couldn't repair just due to not having the staff or equipment, and we'll be asking our contractor to make those repairs. And that is, I'll get into that in more detail, as that is our next agenda item. So the materials cost for the repairs that our staff did was about $10,000, and we have filed a claim with our insurance. Also, I wanted to mention that we have been working with PEC since last summer on an automatic transfer switch. We had talked to you about around then for our electric feed to the plant. PEC has, in the meantime, made some improvements to its distribution system and recently provided us with an estimate. I have to thank Kenneth Wheeler from Cedar Park for helping to facilitate this communication. We had originally thought that the transfer switch would be about $250,000, but recently, earlier this month, PEC has said to install an automatic transfer switch including the materials and labor, would be about $100,000. So that is a much better number. And the timeline would take about 16 to 18 weeks to get the materials and an additional 6 weeks for construction. So we will continue to make this a priority. In terms of the phase 2 project update, next month we will formally, or maybe in the next few days, we will formally be invited by Texas Water Development Board to submit a final application for phase 2 construction phase funding. And then action will be needed by the board and Leander and Cedar Park City Councils prior to the end of April on the loan application that we would be submitting. And then the board and all 3 councils will also act on an associated revision to BCRUA's master contract. The contract currently includes phase 2 design, but we need to add phase 2 construction. And as Leander's last city council meeting of the month is April 15th, I've scheduled a BCRUA board meeting April 7th to consider these items, and then that would give Leander time to consider that at their last council meeting of the month, which is falling early in April. And those are really the main updates that I wanted to provide, but I'd be happy to answer any questions about anything that I've mentioned or any other questions you might have.
So was that news to us that the insurance wouldn't cover the repair for the 36-inch?
Yes, they actually sent a forensics engineer, a subcontractor that they used to go to look at it. They came out and assessed the pipe and also got other related information. And basically what they're saying is it wasn't any kind of action that happened that caused the break, that it was either a defect in the materials or defective construction, and they wouldn't make a determination of which of those it could have been, but just our insurance would have covered if there was, you know, like a major storm that came through that knocked it out of alignment. But so we're waiting for the other piece of the puzzle, which is what the pipe manufacturer has to say about it, and then we'll put the whole picture together and try to figure out if there's any claims that we can make to reimburse us.
Thank you. Any other questions for Karen at the moment? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to item 6, resolutions. Consider a resolution approving change order number 5 with Excel Construction Services LLC for the BCRUA Phase 1C water treatment plant expansion. Responding.
Thank you, Mr. President. The change order document is in your packet, and this change order is for the Phase 1C water treatment plant expansion project for repairs to damage caused by the recent winter storm. The total cost of the change order is $101,187, and the repair schedule is 30 calendar days. Our plant superintendent is hoping to be able to start up Phase 1C expansion prior to the repairs being completed, but we'll just have to see how that goes. The main item is a 4-inch diameter ductile iron pipe. It's a plant water pipe that completely rings the sedimentation basin. There's some gaskets and wall penetrations that we will need the contractor to do. There's also some hydrant stations and insulation that needs to be replaced and repaired, and then the contractor will pressure test the pipe after the repairs are made. There's also some other hydrant stations with the filters that the contractor will repair, and then some damaged concrete on the exterior of one of our filters. So we have filed an insurance claim for this as well. And once you approve this change order, we will send that to our insurance agent. And we will request approval from the Water Development Board to use 2017 SWIFT bond funds for any expenses that may not be covered by insurance. But that's all I was planning to present, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So we're paying this upfront with the thought that we might get some of that reimbursed?
Yes.
And do we know what the potential reimbursement might be, what that delta might be ultimately?
Well, our deductible is $5,000, so hopefully the majority of it. And-
Okay.
But the Water Development Board has also said that they will be willing to cover this kind of an emergency repair.
All right. Any other questions from directors? No? Seeing none. We need to take a vote on this, right? All right, so entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right. Motion by Director Shaw, second by Director Duffy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then we are on to item 7. Any director closing comments? Any directors have any comments wish to offer for the good of the community and board?
Well, just thank you. And, none of us saw that storm, although some of us are from winter states. So it was definitely unusual. So I'm glad we were in it. I mean, not a tragic situation. I mean, I'm not surprised we had some issues, but that need repaired, but I think we're in a good situation. Thanks for all your work too, Karen and Kenneth and everybody.
Yep, agreed. Just a reminder, as Karen mentioned earlier, that April 7th is a special call meeting, so hopefully that's on your calendars. And if there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Good to see you all.
You too.